Hi, welcome to the Knits and Things podcast. My name is Heather. I'm your host. I am Heather219 on Instagram and Ravelry, so you can find me there. I also have a Ravelry group for the podcast, which is the Knits and Things podcast group, I believe. I also, a couple people have found me on Twitter. So I don't know how it's linked up because I'm not Heather219 there on Twitter. I am Bookworm101, which is B like boy, K, W-R-M 101. Can you tell I've said that a million times in my life? I've had that email address for probably 16 years. I really should switch it because I get tons of spam in it. But it's everybody knows it now. So I'm also Bookworm101 on Twitter, and I've been trying to be on Twitter a little bit more, but honestly, I don't understand. I don't understand how to, like, find what people I'm following are saying. So, and I don't understand how do they pull in what I see when I log on? Do I only see things from my people I follow? Like, how would I know? People say, "Oh, now trending on Twitter." How do you know that? So I'm sure there's a button I'm supposed to push, and I don't understand it. It's a little beyond me. I think I'm a little old for that. So I don't know. People have found me on Twitter, so come find me if you can. Bookworm101. But usually I'm on Instagram or Ravelry. So, and I would like to say Happy Easter to everyone. Today is Easter. I'm actually getting ready to head to my sister's house, but the house was quiet here, and my son is in New Jersey with his dad and that set of grandparents, and so I just figured I would take my little teeny tiny bit of extra time and record already, because I'm sure the house is going to be crazy next week. I haven't done it yet, but I'm going to offer to watch my nephew one of the days, because next week is spring break for me. So I'm going to offer to watch my nephew, and I'm sure I'm going to be tired after that. My nephew just turned 2 about a month ago. March 8th was his birthday, and he just turned 2, and he is rambunctious. We thought when my son came along, he was the first boy baby that any of us had dealt with. I'm one of 2 girls. My dad has 2 other girls. My aunt had 2 girls. And so nobody knows what to do with boy babies. And so when my son came along, we were like, "Oh, look at this boy stuff. Ah, yay. And we thought that he was a bit of a handful. Nothing compared to my nephew. My nephew is a wild man. So I'm going to offer to watch him so that he doesn't have to go to daycare. Although I think I'm probably going to have her take him to daycare because they live about an hour away. I think I'm going to have her take him to daycare and then go grab him from there, because I'd like to meet the daycare person too. A little overprotective as an auntie. So things are going to be crazy. This was a quiet time to record, so I'm recording. So I figured I would catch you up, and there's a lot going on knitting wise, so I thought today was a good day. So welcome. I never say, I've been catching up on lots of podcasts. And I never say, and I hope nobody finds it to be rude and offensive. If they do, they probably aren't watching anymore, but I never say, welcome, and, thanks for coming back, welcome to new listeners, or new viewers, but of course, welcome. Thank you for watching. But I never say it. Is that rude? I'm sorry if it is. Sorry. So let's go jump into some knitting, because I have lots of knitting going on. So I'm going to start with, and I didn't even put this in my notes. I didn't even notice it until I came and looked at my knitting bag that I left sitting here yesterday after knit group. But I have a finished object. And you know what? I'm not going to put it on because it's the same finished object as a while ago. I knit another Rike hat, and I'm not going to put it on because I just did my hair. So, and I'm sure it's going to mess my hair up, and I put hairspray in it and everything. So I did another Rike hat. This one is probably going to be for my son. And I apologize if it's dark. I guess I've never tried to record in here during the daytime, but I usually sit and the window is kind of behind me, and there is such a bright glare coming through that window that I couldn't do that. I'm sure it's going to hurt everybody. Matter of fact, you can probably see right there, big glare coming in the door. So I'm sorry, but I think whichever way I go, even if I tilt you guys a little bit, you're going to get the glare from one place or the other. Oh, that might be better. But let's see, there's the edge of the window, right over there, and it's very bright. So it's a beautiful, beautiful day to have for Easter. So this is the Rike hat. I knitted this one. This was this another one that I grabbed? Or no, I know what it is. I participate in the Harry Potter Knit and Crochet House Cup, and I was trying to get this finished as a last minute submission for my house, because the term just ended. So I was trying to get this submitted, and I thought that it was going to be a good gray color to match a dragon egg prompt. So I don't know if you guys keep up with that, but you knit for Harry Potter, you have these, everybody's sorted into houses, and you have different classes that you have to attend, and you complete something that fits like a very broad and open to interpretation, a prompt that's open to interpretation. Excuse me. And so I thought that this might fit for a gray dragon egg, because we were given all the different dragons and told to match up either their color or the color of their eggs. And so there was one dragon who had gray eggs, and I thought that might be good for a dragon egg color. This was just random sock stash, and it actually was from my big bin of sock yarn that I would like to knit up this year. I knitted out of Barocco Comfort Sock, and this has no wool in it at all. I went through a big phase where I'm like, I'm gonna find every yarn that has no wool in it so I can wear knitted socks all throughout the year, and then I just never knitted with it, so I figured it was good for this. So it is, as you can see, nylon and acrylic, and it's very soft and squishy. It's very cozy. I think it'll make a great hat. I think it's going to go to my son if he likes it. He said he thought he liked the color, but he wasn't too sure about the style. So if he doesn't like it, I will keep it for myself. Because the first one I knit, I did one out of black and rainbow. I think I showed you the last time I recorded. And that one is definitely too itchy for me, so this one would be great for me, but I told him he could have it. So if he likes it, he can have it. If not, I will totally keep it. So that is my one and only, yes, that's my one and only finished object. I have so many things on the needles. As a matter of fact, I'm not going into my sock stash again this month, even though the new month has come around, because, number one, I knitted one whole pair, or I knitted the black yarn that did the first Rike hat was from the sock stash. So that counts as a skein gone. This that I'm knitting, which is just a pair of plain vanilla socks, is from the sock stash, and I have not finished it yet. What else? And I have two other socks that I have not finished yet. So because I've completed two projects worth of the sock yarn, which is the two Rike hats, I am not going to cast on a new sock this month. I've given myself the liberty to do that. So I have a big bag full of sock yarn, and I've been promised I am doing like the personal sock club that everybody does, where you reach in and you grab a skein of yarn and you knit a pair of socks for the month. And I know Kim from the Sock Bunny Knit and Fit podcast cast another one on the beginning of the next month, even if she's not finished with the other skein. But I'm not going to do that this month, because I have completed projects with my sock yarn, and because I have so much more on the skein, on the needles. So I'm not going to pull anything else out this month, and I hope to get back to it next month. And so I'll show you when I'm doing my works in progress all of the things that I have going and why I can't bear to cast anything else on. So again, this is just a plain vanilla sock. This is as far as I've gotten on the very first sock, and I know I showed this to you last time. This is, yes. This is Heaven or Hell, the Heaven or Hell colorway, and this is from Rainy Days and Woolly Dogs. I also have a website on here, gothsocksyarn.com. So there's their tag. And on the other side, I also have that it's Argyria yarn, which is a merino silk and nylon silver. So I don't quite know exactly what this yarn is colored, but it's beautiful. Or it's called, but it's beautiful. And I love the stripy colors. I love the red and the purple, almost down to black in the stripe. I really like it. So this is these are socks probably for me. We'll see. I'm not sure about the sparkle on my feet because I, again, don't like scratchy, which is why I went on the quest to find sock yarn with no wool in it, and to be able to wear it throughout the year. But, so that's one project on the needles. I also have, what else should I show you? The other two, actually, let me show you the other socks that I have not finished, and which is why I'm not going to cast on anything else on. So I knit, here's one sock from the pair. I knit this sock, actually this is my Floatus sock. I knit on this sock while I was, actually I knit this sock earlier, and then I started the cuff of the next sock, and these are now my Floatus socks because I knit on them while I was waiting to hear the First Lady speak. I went to Bowie State University's graduation last year. Was it just last year? Maybe it was 2 years ago now. And, of course, you had to get in there early because the First Lady was speaking, and then you had to sit and wait forever, so I knit this whole cuff while I was waiting on her. So these are now my Floatus socks. And that is still on the needles. I still have a little bit left to go with that. Don't ask me what the yarn is because I don't know. But it came in two separate little hanks like this, the little sideways balls. So that was that, and I've been working on those forever, and I'd like to finish those and wear them because I love the colors and I love the feel of the yarn. It's very squishy. And I also have my very first Desert Vista dye work socks to do the, this is not skew, right? What are these? You guys know what these are. You've seen these before, right? So I have one sock done there, and I have only started a wee teeny tiny toe for that one. So I've got all of that on the needle, so I'm not casting on any new socks. It's just not going to happen. So I hope that the next time I record, when I record in May, that I will have one, maybe two finished pairs of socks. Let's hope. Let's hope. All right, so those are my sock works in progress. I also have a barn raising square that I started a long time ago. I don't even remember when I started this. So that is on the needles as well. So do you see all the stuff I have? I'd like to finish that. I always do this at spring break and the beginning of summer break and winter holidays. I always look at all the stuff and I want to knit all the stuff. But so those things are on the needles. I also have, wrong shawl. Should I show you this? I have, I've got so much stuff on the needles, it's not even funny. And this one is in the middle of a row. I know that Isolde Teague just finished her second Follow Your Arrow Mystery Knit Along. This is Mystery Knit Along number 1, Follow Your Arrow, that I never finished. But I love this yarn. It's so soft and squishy. I considered ripping this out to start a different mystery shawl that you'll see in a minute. But I couldn't bear to because it's partway there, right? So all I really need to do is figure out where I am. This will probably wait for the summer. I need to figure out where I am on the second clue and get going with that. But I have 2 skeins of a cashmere blend yarn for that. I also have beads. I was thinking every once in a while I would put a bead in. Yummy, yummy. Love it. So that is still there. And so these are the reasons I can't cast anything new on. Although, so since you have seen me, I've actually cast 2 things on. One thing I just cast on yesterday. And so here's the shawl that I am knitting, or the yarn that I am knitting for the shawl that I just started. So did you know that there is a mystery knit along with Neighborhood Fiber? Yes. So Neighborhood Fiber, Karita from Neighborhood Fiber Company, along with a designer named Rosie G. You can find her on Ravelry, and I think that's her name on Ravelry. Yes, Rosie G. Have started a mystery knit along. And Rosie G is the designer using Neighborhood Fiber yarns. I'm not using Neighborhood Fiber, sorry. I just bought, you'll see one sweater quantity of Neighborhood Fiber that I'm using right now, and I just bought another Neighborhood Fiber sweater quantity of yarn. You'll see later when I talk about enabling. So I don't have enough DK or fingering for that matter in Neighborhood Fiber to do the knit along, so I'm using some stash yarn. So I'm thinking she won't mind, that Karita won't mind, but I don't know. Karita, I'm sorry. But You know I just bought yarn from you. So you know I support you. But I'm not using your yarn for this one. I'm sorry. So it's in the Neighborhood Fiber Company group. And you're supposed to use 2 skeins of her. She's got a new DK base out, which is, I think, part of the promotion. I think she wants to kind of get the word out that there's a new base. She's got a new DK base. And you'd use 2 skeins, so you need about 550 yards. So again, I did not have 550 yards of Neighborhood Fiber, but I did have from a club shipment that I got earlier in the year, I do have 550 yards of a Dragonfly Fibers yarn. So this was from a club shipment, this colorway, and here's the start of, here's the start of the shawl. So if you're doing the mystery knit along and you haven't done Clue 1 yet, look away. This is the start of the shawl. Let me try and get it somewhere solid. No. I'm trying to get it somewhere solid so you can see what's going on, because it really is very, very pretty. You can kind of see it there. So it's kind of like petals coming out from the center. Beautiful, beautiful pattern. I love this center decrease that she did. So you place the bead, and then on the next row up, you did a monster decrease. Oh, and the color is going crazy. You do a monster decrease, but it puts that bead right in the center. It's awesome. It's awesome, awesome, awesome. So I'm really liking it so far, and I was kind of hemming and hawing over the yarn that I had. Again, I've got tons of stuff. I just bought tons of stuff. Sheep and wool is coming up, so I didn't want to buy more yarn. So I'm using what is here, although I do need to buy more beads. So this is, again, the Dragonfly Fibers yarn, and the colorway for that is, what's it called? The colorway for that is called Love Your Mother. I say, Love Your Mother, and I try and get like a Cher accent in my mind. Love Your Mother, and then in parentheses, Earth. So this was the club shipment, I think, from last year at springtime. We got 2 skeins, and it's a DK weight, so I went with it. I'm using these beads. You guys have seen these before, right, at your craft store? I don't even know. What are they called? Beater's Paradise. I think I get these from my local, like, Joann's, or I think they might have them in AC Moore as well. I've seen them in a couple of the craft stores. They are not in Michael's, because I went to Michael's yesterday looking for them. Not there. So I'm going to try and go to Joann's sometime this week. But those are the beads. They are huge. These are 6.0? No, 2.0 check glass beads. Gorgeous. I think it's called Black Topaz. Yes, Topaz Black. They have that little band in the middle so that they're not completely see-through, but they have that metallic-y shine through them. And I think it works really well with the flecks of brown that are in the yarn. You can see the brown there. Again, it's getting very dark. I wish my ceiling fan light would come on. But it doesn't like me. So there's the yarn all skeined up. So hopefully I'm not going to be frowned upon for using a different yarn, but this is what I had. And so I really do like the beads. They're huge, but it's DK weight yarn, not fingering weight for the shawl. So I think it's going to work. I think it's going to be really interesting. Okay. All right. So sorry, I did a weird cut because I sneezed. I didn't want to blow anybody's eardrums out. So I have also cast on another item since I recorded last time. Let me make sure I've gotten everything. Yes, I do not have my nostalgia to show you. That's what I thought was in the black Fat Squirrel Fibers bag, and it's not. So apparently my nostalgia shawl is hiding somewhere, but that is on the needles as well. Crazy, right? So I've also cast on for a sweater since I recorded last time. And so this sweater is called Spring Showers. Let me show you the pattern. This is the, this is the Spring Showers pattern. What? Did I show this to you last time? What did I cast on? I remember showing the pattern, but I don't think I had cast on. So this is the Spring Showers cardigan from Joji Locatelli. Beautiful pattern. Mine will close a little bit more than hers does, because I don't like to have all of that showing. Not anymore. Getting older is not for the weak. Alright, so there's the pattern. Let me show you one from the back because it's got gorgeous short row shaping that makes it like a very swingy A-line shape. I'm going to try and show you the back and not show you the pattern. There we go. So you do little short row machinations to make that shape. I'm not going to tell you exactly how it's done because it's a paper pattern. And it's so cool. It's really fun. So I am knitting this. This is what I'm knitting my sweater quantity of Neighborhood Fiber that I got last year at Sheep and Wool. That's what I'm using for this. So, and I'm a little bit more than halfway through. And I love sweaters with a different construction. So it's taken me a while to figure out exactly where I need to be to show you. So basically, this is the back. I'm knitting, there's the back, there's where the short rows come in, and I've already done the back and the left armhole and left front side. That's what you're seeing there. Back stops, armhole, left front side. That looks really big, doesn't it? I've been trying it on, and it's working out to gauge, and it's working out to measurements, but it's a little scary. I think it's because it's the different construction. So there's the left side, and I'm working on the right side now. I'm just about to the point where I need to start for the second armhole, and I think I'll have to do one more wedge before I get there. So I'm actually knitting it. If you can see, I'm actually knitting it this way. Here's where my needle is, and I'm going this way. So this is the bottom of the sweater on this side with the cute little garter tab, and this is the right side, this is the top side on this side of the needle. So I love sweaters with alternate construction like that. It's so much fun. I love it, I love it, I love it. But again, I'm referring back to the pattern all the time and looking at the sizing and looking at the measurements to make sure that I'm not making it too big, because it's scary. I guess not knowing that, you know, this is this piece, this is how far I should be. It's not like it's a top-down raglan where I can kind of try it on and go, oh yeah, I know where it should be. That looks like it's fitting right. This is completely different, so I have no idea. No idea. So, again, I'm using Neighborhood Fiber Company. I think this is the Eastern Market colorway. I think. And I don't know that I'm going to have enough, so I recently purchased one more skein from Neighborhood Fiber in the Cooper Circle colorway to make up the yardage. I originally was going to use this yarn in the two colors for, there's another sweater, cardigan style, very similar to this, very similar in outline to this, that takes a contrasting color to go along the edges and a little bit of striping in the sleeves. And that one did have long sleeves, so I needed the extra skein for that pattern, and then I wound up that I was not getting gauge, and I was going to have to do a bunch of extra figuring and sorting things out, and I didn't want to try it. I didn't want to risk not getting the fit that I wanted, so I switched over to this Spring Showers pattern. So I don't know that I'm going to need this for the collar, but if I do, I'm going to do the collar in this color. And this one is, this is Neighborhood Fiber Studio. It's like the Studio Sport, which is actually working up to DK. I think this is why she switched. And this is the Cooper Circle colorway. So those two, I think, look very nice together. So if I have to do a contrasting collar and have this on there, I have no problem. I think it'll be very pretty and make a gorgeous sweater. So those are my works in progress. Lots of stuff, right? Lots of stuff, which is why I'm not pulling out another skein from the sock stash. Not going to do it this month. I think I would get too overwhelmed. I also started taking a class. Did I tell you that? Yeah. I started taking a class about differentiated instruction. My teaching certificate is due again this year, and I have taken a class and I've done other things that would count towards my recertification, but I want to have the 6 hours of credits so that they can't complain at all. So I want there to be no question at all with recertifying. I have too much going on in my teaching life right now to worry about that, or to, heaven forbid, take a pay cut because my certificate can be renewed. So I'm going to buckle down and take the class. It's an online class. It runs for only 8 weeks, so it won't even last me throughout the rest of the school year. I think I can just buckle down and do it. I've kind of gotten rid of some other time issues in my life lately, so I'm just going to do it. So I don't need more knitting to distract me. Knitting can distract me already. So there's that. And so those are my works in progress and my one finished item. And now we're going to move on. I'm not going to do any cuts because I want to be able to edit this and push it out real quickly. I want to move on to enabling. And then I'll do a little bit of Mulberry Street talk. So enabling. What should I show you first? Let's show you, I'm going to show you the Dragonfly Fibers March shipment, which I was very late on. I apparently ignored the email that I got. I'm in her club, and the way you can do her club, you can pay up front. It's an every other month club. You can pay up front or you can pay as you go. And so this is the second year that I've done the pay as you go club, and she sends you a little email and says, hey, the shipment's getting ready, you know, go ahead and pay your bill and we'll ship your stuff out. And I keep forgetting. I don't know if I just ignored it because I checked it, I want to say like the 20th of March, and I hadn't even looked at the email yet. I hadn't even opened it. So I don't know if that day, the day that it came in, I was just overwhelmed. I don't know what happened, but I never even looked at it. But then as soon as I paid it, they put the shipment right in the mail. So Dragonfly Fibers, lovely company. Neighborhood Fiber is as well, but Dragonfly Fibers, lovely company. And so this is the 2015 club. The 2014 club was like abundant yarn. This club is yarn, pattern, and an extra goodie. So last time I got a shipment, I think I've showed this to you already, it was yarn, pattern, and beads. This time it's yarn, pattern, and a really good goodie. So the pattern, and the shipments have already gone out, so I don't think there's going to be any spoilers, but this is the March Dragonfly Fibers if you haven't seen yours yet. I'm sure nobody else is as late as me. So this was the pattern that came with it for some fingerless mitts, and that is basically the yarn that came, because the yarn is, no, it's more of a purpley color. So this is their Traveler base, and this is the Jocelyn color. Their Traveler base, let me show you the yarn. Their Traveler base is 280 yards of a superwash merino, and it's about 5 to 6 stitches to the inch. So is that worsted? It's worsted, right? No, because it's on a 4 to 7, so maybe a DK weight. Anyway, lovely, squishy, and I have never knitted fingerless mitts. Can you believe that? I never have. But I really like this one. I love the cable going up the side. So I might try that. I might actually try these. And if I don't want them, because purple is not really my color, then I'll have a gift to give away. But are you ready for the goodie? Oh, and I love their paper. Look at the little dragonflies. I love getting her packages. Love it. Love it. So the goodie this time was a Lolo bar. Yay! I had just ordered myself a Lolo bar, and I restrained myself to just ordering one, and I always get, when I need to redo the big body bar, I always get a little pack of the little samples, and I keep them in my purse. They're the perfect lotion to carry with you. They will not spill in your purse, and they're awesome, and they smell good. Yum! So this one is the lemongrass, which I have gotten before, and I love it. So I'm very happy with that. Nice Lolo bar that is actually going to go upstairs now that I've showed it to you. And a cute little card with a little handwritten note. And since it was a handwear to knit, this I'm assuming was supposed to be for your hands. But this is going in my bathroom because I love it. I use that when I get out of the bathtub as my lotion. Use it when you're wet and rub it all over while you're still wet, and it just soaks right in and makes you feel all nice and soft. Some days I do put a very lightweight kind of scented lotion on top of that as well because my skin is very dry. And actually usually what I have to do is I alternate a day of Lolo bar and a day of the Cetaphil lotion. From my dermatologist recommended I do that. Otherwise, I will get little spots of eczema popping up. Again, never used to happen when I was young. All right, and then the next thing that I want to show you is my Neighborhood Fiber. Right. So Neighborhood Fiber, again, I was telling you that she was switching over. This is what I was told. She was switching over her sport weight base because it really was working up more to be a DK weight. So she was switching from one to the other. I don't know. Anyway, everything she had on hand of the sport slash DK weight, she had discounted like 20 or 25%. Awesome. So I went in with the idea of buying Station North, which is the beautiful deep red color, berry red. I love it. And I want a sweater quantity that one day. And so you can tell I didn't get it right. I was in there, I swear to goodness, for an hour one day, and it kept telling me, oh, I'm sorry, somebody else must have that in their cart, because the little status bar told me there were lots of Station North available. And so I put it in my cart and went to check out, and they're like, oh, I'm sorry. Apparently somebody else has that in their cart, and you can't buy that right now. If they don't buy it within 10 minutes, it will be released. So I stayed in there for an hour, refreshing, could never get it. So apparently the same person was trying. Maybe they were trying to decide on what else they wanted. I don't know, but I didn't get the Station North. So I settled for, because I wanted a bright cardigan. So I settled for Eastern Market, and Eastern Market is like an orangish red. So I didn't want anything pinky because I don't like that pinky color red, but I do love orangey reds. So Eastern Market, lovely. And I got 4 skeins of the sport slash DK, and so I'm thinking this might work for the other cardigan that I want, the other A-line type cardigan that I want to do. So I got 4 skeins of Studio Sport, and so when it came packaged up, these 2 skeins were packaged kind of together. And so what I'm thinking is these are 2 different dye lots, and these 2 came packaged in the other set, but then it was all wrapped up together. And these, I do think these look a little bit deeper, and these look a little brighter, right? So I will do some alternating. I will do lots of alternating, which I am doing on my spring showers already. So Easter Market, lovely, yes. So that is my enabling for the month. And see, these 2, this was a set of 2, and the other puff was a set of 2 as well. So that's my enabling. So if you have an idea for a DK weight sweater that you just love, or maybe it's something that you're getting ready to knit, let me know. Maybe we can do a knit along. I know what. Another thing that I'm knitting on that I did not show is I'm still working on my Hito Fude. Well, I haven't been working on it, but that's still on the needles. And I know that the Knit One Heart 2 podcast is doing a knit along for that. And so is it Erin from Anatomy of Knitting is getting ready to do a knit along. So I think I'm going to, once my spring showers is done, I think I'm going to jump on with her and see if I can get my Hito Fude finished up along with her. And that's about it. I was going to show you very quickly about the alternating skeins. So because those 2 skeins of Neighborhood Fiber are very different, and really you should do this with any skeins, any hand-dyed skeins like that, you should alternate skeins. And so the 2 skeins that I have left to work with from my Neighborhood Fiber you cannot tell a difference at all. They look exactly alike. There is no difference. They both have the same amount of blue and the same amount of green. Wonderful. But you never can tell. Sometimes your eye can't tell, but it's a little bit different. And so when I had actually knitted the majority of my first skein of yarn on this before I grabbed the second one and realized, crap, I should have been alternating. So from that point on, I alternated, but you cannot tell. And I think I started adding that one in around here. So around this point where my finger is where I started adding that one in, and you can't tell a difference. But I continued alternating just in case. And so the way you do that is you just hold both yarns and you knit with one at a time. So I've got both skeins coming out here. You can see. And I just finished knitting with this one up and back. And so the next time I knit, I will kind of tuck that one to the back, make sure it's snug but not tight, and start knitting with this one from down here, which is going to carry it kind of up the side. And it still makes a nice, neat edge. Can you see that? It still makes for a nice, neat edge that can be finished off nicely. Ooh, that looks kind of big right there. Those look kind of elongated. Oh, so you can see the elongated ones are where it's gone from the bottom row up to the top, but it still keeps it running right along with it, so that you don't have a bunch of ends to weave in and you don't have any obvious starting line when you add in your new skein. So that is what I'm doing right now. I said I would do a little bit of Mulberry Street talk, which is just what's going on in my neighborhood and my actual personal knitting, in-person knitting, not virtual knitting. I went to my knit group yesterday. Oh, it was so nice. I hadn't been able to get to knit group. I was not feeling well, and it was one of my monthly no-go days. Yeah. So I was not up for leaving the house. I wasn't feeling all that great to begin with, and it was probably just tired, anemia type things, but I felt horrible. I was getting over whatever it was my son and I had, and it was not a good day to leave the house and be too far away from the restroom, you know what I mean? So I ended up skipping my last meeting that I was able to go to. My son wasn't here or anything, but I just did not feel like leaving the house. So I missed that one. So it's been more than a month since I've been able to go, because the meeting before that, I had a cabbie show to do. So I had not been for a long time, and it was so nice. It was kind of a big group, and I got there kind of right at time to start, and people stayed. I think I left finally at about 7:30, so it was nice because people, would come and go, and a couple people would leave, but then somebody else would show up, and we just kind of stayed and kept knitting and talking, and I got a lot done. I got to bounce some ideas off people. It was really nice. I love my knitting group. They're so nice. So that is what I just did. Have I done anything else? No, I haven't even been to a yarn shop since I did the Stephen West meetup. But coming up in 1 month is the Maryland Sheep and Wool Festival. Yay! So I am going this time. My son is with his dad that weekend, and it's Sheep and Wool. So I'm going to Sheep and Wool. He does have games that day, lacrosse games. I've already told him I'm not going. He gave me the evil eye. Oops. But he knows this is my thing. I always go to this festival. He's always going to be playing lacrosse. There will always be another game. So I'm taking the day off and I'm going. And I don't really necessarily have anything that I'm definitely looking for. I'm just going to kind of look around. I always am going to love to see all the neighborhood fiber colors in person. Oh, I know who. Briar Rose is a vendor that I have gotten fiber from online before, and she's going to be at Sheep and Wool for the first time, and I'm very excited to see her goods in person. I've heard that when she goes to festivals that she only brings yarn, so I'm hoping that she will also bring roving, because I'd love to be able to see the roving colors in person. I've always loved everything I've gotten from her, and it's always hard to choose, because I think she does have very good photography and very good lighting, and whatever I have ordered from her has been true, and it's been exactly what I was expecting. But I'm always leery about trying new yarns online that I haven't seen and touched in person, so I'm anxious to see her yarn, and I'd love it if there was fiber there too. So I'm very anxious to see her. I'm anxious to just kind of go and walk around. I'm still trying to get a hold of my one girlfriend that I usually go with. I have not heard from her recently, and I've heard that she had been sick. And so I'm really trying to get in touch with her. Kelly, are you there? Kelly? So I hope that we find each other, and if not, I will meet up with some of my knit group. I will try and go for the sheep to shawl demonstrations. On Saturday, there is a podcaster meetup. I'm sure all that is online. There's an online group, or a Ravelry group online for that, so you can check out all the meetup times and everything. I'm just tagging on whatever they say is going on there. I'm going to go to that in hopes of meeting some podcasters that I love watching, and I would love to meet anybody else. Word of warning, I recognize faces, and I'm horrible with names. So I recognize faces, so I'll probably be able to, just by looking at you, tell that I've seen you somewhere before, if we've met in person, or if I recognize your avatar, but I probably will not remember your name, so please just give me some grace. I do not remember names. You should see. In my class, it's really kind of hilarious. I don't remember names at all. And it's nothing personal because, again, I know your face. I will know that I have seen you before. I will recognize you. But I do not remember names, so please forgive me. I mess up names of friends that I've had for years sometimes. It's not something that sticks. I don't know why. Is that silly? I'll look at you and I'll remember things we've done. I'll remember where I know you from. I remember, and I'll recognize why I know you, but I might not remember your name. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. And I think with that, I need to get headed down the highway to go see my sister and brother-in-law and cute nephew. And I will see you next month. I might see you in person if you're going to Sheep and Wool. Please say hi. So I might see you in person, and then I'll probably record after that. Again, that's the first weekend of the month. Sheep and Wool is. So I won't. I'm almost positive I won't be recording before then. It might actually not be until the end of the month because that will take me. My class ends in May, so I will probably. It will probably go through. I'll probably wait until the class is done and finished. So it might be like the end, like the 20th-ish of May before I record again. So until next time, I hope your knitting makes you happy. Bye.